All right, Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for April 9th, 2019 is called to order. Have roll call by the secretary, please.
Sorry, I said we could start and then I wasn't. I'm sorry about that. All right. President Brown,
Present.
Bill Cook,
Present.
Pastor Jones,
Yes.
Jamelba Johnson, not here. Terrell Bonds, not here. Three present, 2 absent, so we have a quorum.
With a quorum, we can proceed with the agenda for today. The first order of business was the passing of the minutes from the last meeting.
We don't have minutes.
We had any minutes? Okay.
We'll get there.
We'll move on to the next order of business, the public hearing. First on the agenda, BZA 1904.
Let me stop you for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to be recusing myself from this, given the fact that I do work for the Gary Housing Authority, and this has something to do with something that pertains to the Gary Housing Authority.
All right. Mr. Cook is recusing himself from voting on BZA 1904. We'll proceed then. Petitioner, how do you pronounce your name? Is there present? Zero, Mr. Zero? All right.
Yeah, 624.
Yeah, come to the table and give us an overview of what you're proposing.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Justin Camper. I'm with the law firm of CCSK Law. I'm representing 624 Broadway LLC. We are here because we just want to be approved for special use. They are building a restaurant and they want to be able to sell alcohol to its patrons. Just a quick overview. We're just gonna quickly talk about just the purpose of the building, why this building was created, and just some brief explanations on why we meet the qualifications under the Indiana Code. And we'll have other witnesses to talk, and then just any final arguments from that point. So first, I just wanted to just explain how this came about. This is actually a product of the Gary Micro Enterprise Initiative, the GMI, is what GGMI is what they call it, which is something that the city of Gary sponsored for entrepreneurship, and it was funded by community development, and it was sponsored by the community and community development to help fund entrepreneurs to do business. And one of the patrons of that was Jesse Griffin. He was the owner of H2O Investments. He actually owned the property that we're talking about today. And he was at that program. He was one of the graduates of that program. And at that program, he came up with the idea, concept of a restaurant, which he was going to call it Zone X. And I have just some pictures and just a layout of some of the vision for that. I don't know if it's a special procedure, but I do have a layout of some of the ideas that we're thinking about doing for this building.
You can just pass them out.
Okay. And so
Just one, that's fine.
yeah. And so basically, the vision is that we're trying to build a restaurant and a social gathering for the people and the residents of the city of Gary. They're trying to do an exceptional place for entertainment, dining, and gaming, and just everyday social events in the downtown Gary area. We believe, Gary with 78,000 residents, there's just a lot of limited options for the city. And so we're trying to bring revenue to the city, but also bring jobs to the city through this building. So the desire is to use this to really help engage the citizens and to bring in a lot of great exposure for the city. And so Jesse was the founder of ACO. He had the vision, and he ended up selling his property to 624 Broadway, which is why we're here. And they want to continue that vision for the restaurant. And so, as you can see, just through that documentation, just some of the pictures and the things that we have for that restaurant. So real quickly, we're just wanted to just address the Indiana Code. It talks about the qualifications for a special use permit, and it mentions that the place has to not endanger public health or safety or the general welfare, and as you can see that we're working on that project, and you would definitely not have issues with that. It also talks about that this special use would not be injurious to the immediate vicinity next to it, and 624 Broadway was thinking about acquiring the property next to it and fixing that up as well. Here's a picture of just a lot of how the property was next to it, and how if you go there now, it's completely cleaned up. So that shouldn't be an issue as well. Also, the code states that one of the qualifications for a special use permit that it cannot impede or substantially alter the normal development and the improvement of the property surrounding it. And it definitely wouldn't impede or alter it. It would actually do the opposite. We believe by building this restaurant in this location is actually going to improve the property around it. It also talks about adequate utilities and other necessary facilities. 624 Broadway has done the necessary work of getting all the utilities in the building, so that's not an issue as well. It also talks about just that we would have adequate measures for providing access for ingress and egress to minimize traffic congestion on the public roads. There's a parking lot, and many people park on Broadway, so we don't have an issue there. So, very quickly, just a quick summary, we meet all the qualifications for special use. We don't believe that any other issues should be taken into consideration when we're talking about special use. That's per Indiana Code. Basically, we meet all those qualifications, and we are in compliance. We have all permits. We have licenses for alcohol. The only next step is this special use to sell alcohol in the building. So we don't believe that there should be any objections to it, because we believe that's going to bring a lot of great progress to this city. We plan on employing a lot of citizens of Gary. All the work that's been done in the building has been employed through local citizens of Gary. And we just believe that this product is going to be one of the many things that's going to help revitalize this city. I have one of the owners here, and he's also here to just answer any questions about this property. But basically, we really want to continue to do our work, and getting this special use would help us achieve that.
What would be the hours of operation? The hours of operation of the bar?
You want to answer that, John?
Lunch hours during the week between 11 to 3, and dinner in the evenings after 4:30 to 10 p.m.
What's the capacity of the building?
The capacity will be modified after the inspection from the fire department, because we did a build out for a stage, so it was changed the square footage. Also, a women's bathroom had been added, so they reduced the square footage. So the capacity that I would give you now wouldn't be correct.
Give me an estimate.
About 180.
Okay.
What kind of entertainment?
live bands. I've had experience having hired live bands in the past. A lot of local bands. Right now on the establishment called Foodies, and periodically I get a special use for closing off the street, and I have local live bands. We have food festivals there. So it'll be in the same vein, jazz. I plan to contact or contract the Gary Jazz Association to do regular activities there as well. We're going to have chess tournaments there. So basically the theme of the restaurant, we want to do cross-cultural entertainment. So any holidays we have, we want to celebrate anything from Cinco de Mayo, Polish Independence Day, Nigerian Independence Day, Juneteenth, and have other organizations use the facility for those purposes as well. It will promote the city and bring traffic in.
I thought I heard a mention of gaming something. That's what you were talking
Yeah.
about in regard.
Yeah, chess
not
tournaments.
Gambling.
No.
Games.
Yeah,
Okay.
chess tournaments. Right now, we do chess. We have a unofficial chess tournaments where we bounce around from restaurant to restaurant now. And sometime the winner can get as much as $1,000 every 90 days. So we have a lot of good chess players in there. It's very competitive.
So if, will you proceed if you do not get the alcohol permit? Is that a key component of the project?
The reason why alcohol is quick key to the project is because of marketing reasons. Statistically, I use a point of sale system for my current retail business called Touch Bistro, and the alcohol, for whatever reason, despite the sales flatlining or plateauing that amount, continue to cause the food sales to go up. And that's why many restaurants associate themselves even with just beer or wine. And the purpose of that is someone may drink and other people in the party don't drink, but they're accompanying the drinker, or vice versa. The drinker don't want to go to the restaurant because it doesn't have liquor, and he's accompanying majority of people who don't drink. So the offering of alcohol usually is almost like a commercial now these days. In fact, in the inner city, the alcohol consumption in the restaurant venue is down compared to a liquor store.
It seems to me that in that 600 block, it looked like it used to previously be a Blackstone Bar Grill or something downtown already.
It's two establishments. It's one that has diagonally at 7th, and I don't know the formal name of it, but it's a liquor license been approved for that establishment. The status of how far along they've gone with their construction, I have no idea. The other establishment is called The Loft, and that is a hall for lease, and I've leased the hall several times personally, and they have a liquor there, and they have a rail that was installed where actually people under 21, if you lease the property, someone under 21 can actually come in because they can't access the bar unless they go around the railing. We anticipate putting a 4.5 foot high wall or partition across our bar too, in the event someone leases it for a repast, for funeral, wedding. That way it can be multi-purpose.
I didn't ask the question because of
I'm sorry.
opposition. I just think downtown is a nice place to have for those who like to drink. I think downtown is a nice place to
And-
have it, especially if you're doing business. But I just wanted to know, I didn't quite understand.
Okay.
All right. If there are no further questions, Pastor Jones, we will open this up to the floor. Anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1904? Anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1904? Come forward. Come forward and state your name and address for the record.
How you go? My name is Jesse Griffin. I was the former owner of the building. I actually sold the building with the idea of bringing forth my concept, which was the restaurant and gaming area, to provide liquor to the customers. And then, I had the merit balls, and everyone agreed that it'd be a nice place in the location for people to gather, even those social and business meeting as well. I look forward to participating and patronizing the business.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of BZA 1904? Go.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, to
Yeah.
the board, to these owners, Mr. Slavic, to Mr. Allen. I had an opportunity actually to go inside the building and see the progress that they've already made. And it is amazing what they've done on the inside, because we know after 30 years or so of a lack of usage, what it was. and they're cleaning it out. I've also had an opportunity to see the pictures of what they're going to do with the building. And I just believe that this is an opportunity for Gary to increase the amount of traffic that's coming down to the downtown area. Along with the law, I understand there's also another sports bar that's trying to open up as well. Another Gary businessman is opening it up. And competition is good. So the more the merrier, and I just ask that you approve this special use permit.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else to speak in favor of BZA 1904? State your
Hi, good
name.
afternoon. I'm Cheryl Gordon. I'm a managing broker in Chicago. I've actually had the opportunity to partake in ventures by this particular owner. He's been very, very dedicated to the city of Gary. Just the excitement and the, what I want to say, the dedication that I hear from him. It's not just this project, he actually believes in the city of Gary. And I think that is worth so much, just to have someone that actually has vision and ideas that, you know, myself couldn't see. And, you know, he's even shared with me, you know, the communication that he's had, you know, questions like, why Gary? And his response is, he believes in Gary. So with that being said, I felt that was very important information to share with the board. That it's not just this project. He actually has a vision for your city that you couldn't imagine. And a lot of people don't. So with that being said, I hope you guys approve that.
All right, thank you.
May I interject one more thing?
Go ahead.
The counselor touched on the city programs. I'm a product of city programs in Gary. I have a business now, a restaurant now called Foodies, and I'm going to be handling or managing the build out of the kitchen in this venture. And Foodies is the result of a program that was at the Art House called the Culinary Business Incubator. And it's an incubator funded by J.P. Pritzker in New York, and not in New York, in Chicago, at the Merchandise Mart, where there's several companies there that are in the food business were born out of the incubator. One of the companies there was involved in the incubator is a company called Food Hero. They were contracted for a brief time to come here to Gary to work. When I researched Food Hero, the tuition was about $8,500. It was free for me because I had a Gary ID. I took the course. I had never done the food business before, despite that my background is in real estate, and they taught me how to manage and run a food business. In the food business, most restaurants lose money the first couple of years, and we call it the burn rate, how much you expect to burn each month, or what money you go through without your profit. When I opened Foodies in Midtown, I expected the burn rate to be about $4,700 a month. This May we'd be open 1 year. After the first 4 months, we had got the burn rate down to $1,100. So it's a need in the market for a full service restaurant. And I'm just a carryout where you can't even sit in and people sit on the sidewalk and eat. And despite that, I thought that the area I was in, I would serve a lot of the traditional things here in the city. And I tried to go the opposite and offer some healthier items as the alternatives. Right now, all the healthier items are the #1 selling things. So that proves to me, not only, I'm not arguing only the competency of us to do the project, that proves that the people were patronizing and there's a need for this. I discovered that we were in the food desert. And it would also highlight the benefits of people participating in existing city programs and help promote those things.
Okay, all right. Okay, anyone opposed to 1904? BZA 1904, anyone here to be opposed to 1904? Give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jamel Rags. I'm with Harris Law Firm. We are local counsel for the Gary Housing Authority, who is a contiguous property owner. This property is in the 600 block of Broadway. The Gary Housing Authority owns every parcel of land on that block, save for this one. The city entered into an interlocal agreement with the Gary Housing Authority, where the Gary Housing Authority gave the city a large plot of land, what used to be the former site of the Ivanhoe projects, in exchange for the city giving the Housing Authority land on the 6th and Broadway corridor. The purpose of that exchange was so that the city could do development on that clear site, and the Housing Authority, consistent with their mission under state and federal law, could eliminate eliminate unsanitary conditions and blight elimination in furtherance of putting up affordable, clear housing. This particular property, prior to its acquisition by 624 Broadway, LLC, the Housing Authority was in negotiations with the owner, and unfortunately those negotiations fell through. The date that the Uniform Property Acquisition Offer Letter, which is a precursor to eminent domain, the date that was to be delivered to the owner by certified mail, the property was transferred. The Housing Authority is currently in eminent domain proceedings to acquire this property. And we have copies of the complaint that have been filed for eminent domain in Lake Superior Court. There are five standards in which the BZA is to assess a plan or assess a special use for a site. One of those is that the granting of the special use does not interfere with the city's comprehensive plan. It's clear that in the interlocal agreement in which the city entered into with the Housing Authority, that there was a plan behind it. There was a comprehensive plan for the Housing Authority to acquire the 600 block and proceed with federal dollars to clear out the abandoned, blighted buildings and further develop the land. So we ask that the BZA find that this does not conform with the city's comprehensive plan. Also, that we ask that the BZA find that this would actually negatively impact the property values of the property surrounding it. Because, as I stated, the Housing Authority is the owner of those properties. I know it was stated that 624 might look to try and acquire the property. Well, the property is now under the declaration of federal trust, so that's not possible. But if the Housing Authority, or I should say once the Housing Authority acquires this property as well, it's the Housing Authority's intent to use present federal dollars to demolish all of the blighted buildings along the 600 Broadway Court. So with that, the Housing Authority wishes that the BZA finds against this project.
All right. Anyone here else to speak against BZA 1904? Anyone else? Yes. Seeing none here, and then we'll close and we'll go to hear from administration.
Were there other people who wanted to speak who didn't have a chance? No.
That was for opposing.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
So. Certified mailers were sent out to the surrounding landowners. 8 notices were mailed. 1 landowner was opposed, the Gary Housing Authority. 1 was not opposed. 1 was undeliverable, and 5 we received no response. That, in addition to what we've heard today, makes up the public response to this project. I think that this is obviously kind of an interesting situation given Gary Housing Authority's plans for this block. However, I do kind of find it hard to see how giving a special use permit to serve alcohol really impedes in the big picture Gary Housing Authority's ability to obtain or not obtain this building, because I assume that you're pretty far into this process and you plan to open a restaurant regardless of your liquor license, although a liquor license would be ideal. That's the understanding that I have. So whether or not we grant the special use permit, I view it as an independent issue from Gary Housing Authority's plans for the block. That's the way that I see it. Also, just to clarify, in terms of the city's requirements for a special use permit, they are as follows. The establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare. The special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity. The establishment of the special use will not impede or sustainably alter the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. Adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being improved. Adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide for access management. ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion on the public roads. The special use will be located in a district where such a use is authorized and all other requirements set forth in this chapter which are applicable to such special use will be met. And the petitioner documents and presents to the commission that proposed special use provides for the implementation of sustainable growth principles and initiatives as approved by the commission. As you can see from the petitioner's responses, all of those prompts have been met. So with all of that in mind, I see no reason to not approve.
All right. President, you just heard staff's recommendation. Can I get a motion to approve BZA 1904?
I move for approval, Mr. President.
I'll second it. So with that, we'll have roll call, Madam Secretary.
President Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Chester Jones?
Yes.
Bill Cook?
I recuse myself.
Abstain. So that is two yes, one abstention.
With 2 yes, 1 abstention, we have passed BZA 1904. They will have to go before the city council, I presume?
Yes, they will. And
Right.
we will provide you with that information as to the dates that, I don't know who you can look at, the dates for when you will attend the city council meeting. Okay. So we'll be in touch.
All right. Next on the agenda, BZA 1905. Fred, how do you pronounce your last name? Alihaverdi? Come get to the table and give us an overview of your proposal at 637 East Ridge Road.
Sorry, nobody cares about your petitions, guys. Give me a one. Yeah, she's ready.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Fred Aliverdi. I am a car dealer for 40 years in Illinois, and because of the property taxes went high, we closed the shop. We moved to Indiana almost 1 year and a half. I was looking for a building to find the right for my business, and I find this 637 East Ridge Road. It's a nice building. It's big parking, and I was interested. And I called the real estate, and I signed everything to buy it from the owner. The owner is agree with everything, and we're going to do a lot of. The building is in very good condition, just clean up inside, and we're going to do a nice landscaping, fencing, need a top pointing, need a, by next year, possible out the brake come out if it's not fixed this year. And in my business, in 4 years, I sell a lot of cars, and I give warranty to customer, and I take care of the car for the customer. They were happy, and I didn't have any complaint in 40 years in Illinois with the Secretary of State. No violation or something. And this building is a big, nice building to bring them up to the code. And
Okay. So how did you find this building again? I know it used to be owned by the county trustees.
I was to real estate. I tell them what kind of building I need, and one of them they find it, and we were waiting for it because they still didn't want to sell it.
Okay.
And I was waiting. I put all of my stuff in one storage, still is in the storage, until we get to the owner.
Okay, so you negotiate with the owner.
Yeah, we got the lease. We got the 2 years lease, an option to buy. We put the earnest money, everything through the system, you know.
Okay. Let's see, what else did I want to ask you?
How many cars would you be able to place at this particular location?
The parking.
Yes.
The parking around, I like, you're not going too high, but 30 to 40. But it has at least 150 car you can park in it. But we're not going to go that big. I'm actually, me and my son and my daughter, we were used to be very busy, many cars. I'm coming just slow down a little. But inside the building is very nice. I can put my car, and I also have a showroom too.
I see.
And this,
So how many people do you plan to employ? Just you, your daughter?
Me
your
and
son?
my daughter and my son,
Okay.
and also 3 other people is going to work. Already I find 2 of them in that area for detailing, cleaning, and all, and
Okay.
helping landscaping.
Okay.
Who services the cars for you and prep them for sale?
Actually, I am a mechanic and my son.
I see.
And my daughter is very professional and accounting, selling, paperwork. They're many years, about 15 years, they're working together with me.
Okay. Did I hear you say you warranty the cars?
Yes.
What kind of warranty do you
I give
offer?
them 90 days warranty.
Okay.
After 90 days, if independent cars, if I sell them good and make profit on it, I give them 6 more months, 3 more months, 50-50.
Are you one of those dealers who will do your own financing?
And actually, we have bunch of finance company.
So you will not finance?
If the price is very low, if I get my money, I'm happy with this 500, yes, I do. Actually, I'm not going to go 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 dollar. We are doing between to 5,000, and this way, people they can afford to go for it.
Okay. So would they, under those circumstances, would they pay at your location?
Yeah, if they come, yeah, they can pay. I hold the title, because I put a lien on it, and just like other places.
Have you an inventory now?
I
Or is
have
it something you're going to acquire if in fact?
Yeah, I
you're
have
approved?
almost 7 cars right now, but it's in storage right now. But when we have a room, we can start getting.
I see, okay.
You said that you, your daughter, and one other family member
My son?
would be staffing the place,
Yeah.
and that would leave 3 other employees. Are they going to be local residential hires from the community?
Yeah, it's in that area. I got 2 of them already, and they're going to. Yeah.
So you're gonna have 3 and you have 3 staff?
6 people.
So those would be the detailers and the guys who clean the cars?
Detailing,
and
washing
that?
cars, helping, some in the yard, testing cars, everything, It's like a team. It's going to be cut all the grasses, put the new grasses, put the trees in the front, make it nice. My neighbor on the other corner, they're keeping very clean, and I talked to them and said I'm going to do that one. They were happy. Actually, my neighbor happy because somebody's coming over there.
All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
No, I'm looking fence door and landscaping, and I like the stuff that just
Yeah, I
look
did
pretty.
that.
Okay. We'll open it up to the floor then. Anyone who's here to speak in favor of BZA 1905? Anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1905? Once again, anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1905? Seeing none, hearing none, the same. Anyone here opposed to BZA 1905? Give your name and address for the record, ma'am.
My name is Sharon Dickerson. I live 3770 Virginia Street, Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
And I think I got my front door and look straight down at the thing. And my neighbors are asking why we're coming here. The petitioners have already moved in. They're there every day and night. They had moved some used cars in, about 6 or 7, and they were tagged that they were gone the next day. They have keys to the property because somebody's there all the time, every day. I don't know about on Sunday, but I see trucks unloading merchandise every day in the building. So what's the meeting for? They've already had moved in. But there's a car lot right across the street, a junk car lot right across the street. There's a Lake County Collision Center on the other side. All up and down Georgia is fixed car lots somewhere. The place is terrible. All up and down Ridge Road, cars zooming in all day long. The stop sign, the light is broken, the stop sign there. There's been so many crashes there on Ridge Road. There's one other used car lot on Ridge Road, Virginia. The neighborhood has its share of break-ins, and I don't say people from Illinois will break in, but Anyway, the highway is a skip away. Besides, there are junk car lots across the street from the proposed car lot. There are junk car lots all up and down Georgia. My neighbor and I totally oppose this matter. Like I said before, they have keys to the building. They unload vehicles that were taken away. They're in the building every day and every night. So what's the meeting about? We oppose a used junk car lot. Also, there are so-called companies come in. Also, there are so-called companies come to our neighborhood and bring no beautification. They don't realize that that is us. Beautification is high on our agenda. We are not achieving this. We have worked on that property every year. We have to cut grass, cut down trees, you know. We're so tired of people moving in and moving out. First of all, I moved in the 70s. The same house in the 70s. It was a grocery store. I moved in after I got out of high school. I got out of high school in 71. It was a grocery store. Then it was a township trustee's office. Then it was a church. Then it was the proposed people were moving out. Vincent Corporation bought the property for $26,000. Treasurer history. It was transferred to them in 2017. The parcel number got that, the street, all the information, I go to the internet all the time. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who oppose it. They couldn't come today because, you know, grandmothers, they're sick, they have to get the grandkids in, and they're at work, whatever. But I got 6 names who oppose this property, this proposal. So why we have to come here? They already moved in, they had moved the cars in, I called zoning, they were tagged, and they were gone. So why we have to meet? I don't understand. They're there every day, they move merchandise in every day. I took pictures. I got pictures of the property. We just want our neighborhood to be safe, you know. We got old people in my block.
So your time's up, but let's see if we can, if you wanted to show us the photos really fast.
This is their property.
I would show it to these guys vote, so I'd tell them.
Those 2 things there, cars all up and down there.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the Lake County Collision Center right there. That's across the street, junkyard. It's sometimes I say junkyard. Ooh, okay. Sometimes I say junkyards in this area. Bring some new stuff there. New stuff too, you know.
No, that's okay.
Those junkyard, those things.
Anyone here, anyone else opposed to BZA 1905? Once again, anybody else here to speak against BZA 1905? If not, we'll close down to hear from staff's report.
73 certified mailers were sent out to surrounding property owners. 12 were undeliverable, 1 was not opposed, and 8 were opposed. This includes the ones that we've heard from today.
I put pictures of them, I know who petition, so I went to look how we got
Thank
that.
you. So with all that in mind, this is currently zone B3. The reason why we're doing a variance is because the way that our code is written, used car lots are only allowed in a B5, which is a wholesale zone, with a special use permit. So were we to have Mr. Aliverdi rezoned to a B5, he would then also need to get a special use permit. It's a failure of the code, therefore, we just have him get a variance instead. I think all 3 of you know full well that I'm not a huge fan of car lots, but in this case, I think that we can be flexible. This is a vacant property. It is on a commercial corridor, and I hear the complaints from the neighbors and the concerns from the neighbors, and I think that there's a way that we can perhaps mitigate those issues before we even get to it. So my recommendation would be that we approve the variance, but we require that Mr. Aliverdi submit a landscape fencing and signage plan before he gets issued a general business license. So he has to provide us with proof of how he's going to landscape the property, how he's going to beautify it, what his fencing is going to look like, what his sign is going to look like. That way we know that this is not just another junk dealer coming into the neighborhood. It's someone who's coming in and willing to invest in that neighborhood. So that would be my recommendation.
Question.
Yes.
How do we know that he could sit at the table and say, yes, I'm going to do it? will there be any follow-up, since that this young lady is concerned?
I think that she's got an eye on it, but also, she has already called my office.
All right.
And the cars were gone, so you can't,
Right.
you cannot move it, which now I believe you understand, you cannot do anything until this process is done. You can't use the property until this process is done, so we've clarified that. But that's why, I specified, I'm in charge of issuing the general business licenses, that goes through my office. So he can't operate without a general business license, he'll need to bring in a landscape plan before I issue a general business license.
Who's gonna eyeball it once
We'll send code enforcement out there.
to make sure that it has
Yes.
been done?
Mhm.
Will you give him a timeline within which this has got to be taken care of?
Yes, well, he won't be able to open without it. That's
So
not-
the
As
plans
soon as
will have to be in
possible.
place before he can open, is that what
I
he's
would
saying?
need to see a plan, and it would need to be
I'm
a
saying,
realistic
other
timeline.
than plan, a plant is what I'm saying, not a plan, but a plant.
Yeah,
Will you be able to see it put in place before he can open? Is that what I'm asking? That's what I'm asking.
that's what I would like. I would like this to all be in place before he opens.
So will he get a timeline that would speak to that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, we can.
yeah.
First, you have to give me permit to work. We were going to start working on it, but you said no, wait until this meeting.
Exactly, so we
Now,
get through this meeting.
This meeting, and you can give me permit, and I start doing it.
So this meeting is, you'll get the permit that you need, the special use permit. And then, once you have your special use permit, you come up with a plan for your landscaping. And then you show us your landscaping, we give you your GBL, and you can open.
Okay, then. Very good. Do the landscaping.
That was my concern. I really didn't hear a blanket opposal. I heard in opposition to 3 eyesores already. And I don't know the regulation for going in and working already, that you deal with that. But if you got 3 eyesores
Yes.
and you fix 1, that means you only have 2 more to deal with. You understand what I'm trying to say?
These guys here have been there for years, okay, for years.
But that's what I'm saying, for years, and I'm very familiar with the area.
Yes, okay.
But it looked like some help might be on the way. If you can eliminate 1, you don't have 2 more to complain about. And if he do a good job of fixing it up, it might be instrumental in making the others do a little bit better, or make theirs look a little better.
Well, let me ask this question. Why aren't these others being taken to task and being made to improve the situation?
That's a very good question.
Yes, I've been asking for years, okay? I got
Ma'am, I know that we're in
I take
an
pictures.
informal setting, but your time has expired,
Okay,
so,
sorry.
thank you.
Finish.
Is that a
So-
code enforcement issue?
So now that we have the addresses, we can send code enforcement out there, yeah. Take this opportunity to encourage everyone to use 311, to let us know about these types of issues, so that we can investigate them.
Any further discussion? Staff's recommendation is approval with the caveat that the owner does submit a plan for landscaping, fencing, and beautification. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
And I'll second.
Been moved and saying that we approve BZA 1905 contingent on the owner providing landscaping, fencing, and beautification plans. If there's no further discussion, roll call, Madam Secretary.
Kevin Brown?
Yes.
Chester Jones?
Yes.
Bill Cook?
Yes.
3-0.
3-0, BZA 1905 has been approved, as he has to go before the council.
He does.
He'll have to go before the city council, get with Ms. Cobides, so you will understand that process, so you can proceed and hopefully fulfill your dream of acquiring this property and making it the car dealership that you would like it to be. Thank you, Ms. Albert.
Thank
Good-
you.
good luck
We will
to
be
you.
in touch.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Do a good job, if you don't,
Yeah.
we'll snatch it back.
Make it beautiful.
We're gonna come by and check.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, have a good day now.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, BZA 1906, MBAH Partners is petitioning for a developmental standards variance to put residential units on the first floor of a mixed-use multifamily and commercial development on 70115 Broadway. He is here at the table and ready to go.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time tonight.
Yeah.
My name is Pete Schwigerot. I'm with MBAH Partners, 9100 Center Point Boulevard, Center Point Drive, sorry, we just moved addresses, in Westchester, Ohio. MBH Partners, a developer of housing. We develop for about 16 states. We've developed and manage a portfolio that includes over 12,000 units. We are here in Indiana and have done substantial tax credit development utilizing the housing tax credit program. The state created a program called Moving Forward 3 years ago. It's a special initiative to encourage innovative, affordable housing, and they award 2 projects a year. Last year, they targeted Lake County as a whole, in particular because of the loss of affordable housing units in the county. And so 2 projects were awarded. We competed and were funded for one of those 2 projects here in Gary. We had already been working with staff at the City and Redevelopment Commission to identify sites that made sense for new affordable housing, as well as sites that would meet other revitalization and goals and initiatives of the community. Ultimately, we focused our first effort on this site up Broadway and 7th. We are looking to develop a mixed-use building. It would have mostly commercial first floor, and then we do have residential units on the first floor. That's where the variance is being requested. The upper floor, second and third floors are all residential. In the end, we're going to have around 4,000 square foot of commercial space. We do have a user for that space. Our partner, Northwest Indiana Community Action, will be in that space. They are going to operate a women, infant, child health clinic, as well as have other Northwest Indiana Community Action programming in those spaces, education programs, training programs. In addition to that, we have our first floor commercial space, or our internal community space. We're going to have a fitness center, a business center, a community room, on-site management offices, and that's what's in those orange spaces there. And then the yellow units are mostly rear-based. They will have direct access from the back side of the building, and that will be able to provide us with some handicap units, accessible units as well, which is an important part of the development as well. So ultimately, we're requesting opportunity to replace units on the first floor. We feel that right now there's a little bit of a market mismatch. We understand this is a commercial corridor. We're happy we're providing new commercial in the corridor. Very excited to hear about the possibility there's other new commercial users coming to the corridor, because we want to encourage that, and we think our housing will help do so. But right now there is a lot of space available and vacancy in the corridor. So we think that this reduction allows us to match better housing needs and commercial needs. With that, we are hopeful that this will be the start of something that will include second phases and additional housing options. We are working on those efforts as we speak, and this will act as a kind of anchor or base operation for some additional phases as well. So happy to answer any questions you might have about our development, and thank you for your considerations tonight.
This building is currently there?
No, the front side on Broadway and 7th is vacant. The Redevelopment Commission demoed those buildings in the past.
Okay.
The rear of the site near Massachusetts is the Memorial Hall. That property is going to be demoed.
So the east side of the street.
That would be where you
West
see where it
side,
says the
yeah.
future solar field in the parking lot area there.
All right, okay. Okay. That helped me out, because I was a little perplexed.
Yeah, this does not have a vicinity map on it, so I apologize for that. That gives you a little reference.
Have you actually got a 3D representation of what you're proposed to do?
We
there?
do. I apologize. I do not have that on me. Was it part of the initial package by chance? I think it was, but I'm not sure certain.
I think all I got was
The
the
site plan.
site plan. I can pull it up on my computer.
Okay. Or if you have what we submitted in that site plan review.
Yeah.
How many stories?
3-story.
Okay.
Kind of commercial looking storefront on the first floor,
Okay.
and then kind of more residential up on the uppers.
So you're going to demolish Old Memorial Hall?
Yeah, actually, in theory, the redevelopment commission, I mean, the challenge of it is it's just, there's nothing, it's a health safety issue at this point. We have preserved, we've done historic preservation. I believe the redevelopment commission has already done some investigation to determine whether it's salvageable or not. In fact, because of its history, I think that litmus test of is this able to be solved has already been passed. We've done our own evaluation, saw no way to really do so. But it is kind of an interesting relic, and when you're out there, it's sad to see that scenario there.
That's it right there?
This is it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you,
Yep.
thank you.
Bill?
That would be if you were looking at the corner of 7th and Broadway from,
Looking east.
yeah, looking north or southeast, basically, from the intersection.
Okay.
So that will kind of sit on the corner like that. Some other neat things about this property that are going to be unique, it's going to have a solar roof. It's going to meet net zero, so we're going to be producing as much energy as we're using. We're going to have a greenhouse. We're making that available. Faith Farms is going to take that over and actually operate a commercial grade greenhouse with all the aquaponics. And so there's going to be some neat things that allow our residents to access healthy food and keep energy and utility down. And really, it's going to be the most innovative and green project in housing in Gary for sure.
How many tenants would you propose to house?
I'm sorry?
there? How many tenants? would you
It's
propose?
38 units total. There are 9 twos and the remainder are 1. So we are really feeling like this is singles and young professionals and smaller intensity use of the units. Certainly we could have a few kids with a couple 2-bedroom units, but it would be pretty minimal, we would expect. And with
You're
the-
saying this is affordable housing?
Yeah, so with the tax credit program, you are required to target an average of 60% AMI. We're going to have a mix of some 30 and 40% units, some 60% units, and some 80% units, which is really about a market rate unit. So it's nice that we're really going to be able to cater to folks that are really being anywhere from $10,000, $15,000 a year up to around $55,000 a year, depending on if it's a couple with children or not. So it's got it's a broad income bandwidth on affordability, but which is nice because it can accommodate all levels of affordability.
But it make me feel good that somebody's thinking about Broadway.
We're excited about that.
If the projections are well, we will get a chance to look like some of the other cities that I visit. Downtown needs some residential areas as well as business areas. And it sounds pretty decent to me. And I know that you got some handicap accessible apartments as well.
Yeah. Actually, we're going to have double the requirement. The code 5 is required. We're going to have 10%.
What would you propose to break ground if?
Well, right now the state wants us to be breaking ground this summer, but I really don't think that that's a realistic pace. The city is providing some incentives to the property, and we have to time our construction so that they'll be able to deliver those incentives. So I'm really feeling like while we're targeting end of summer, late fall, and possibly because of preventing winter conditions, possibly spring of 20. So it's either late fall 19, spring of 20 is, I guess, where I'm feeling it'll fall, and it'll be about a 15 to 18 month build.
That's a question.
So you'll have a local management team here?
Yeah, we manage our own properties, but we do not have any local resources, so we'll be hiring local for the on-site manager. We'll have a full-time on-site manager. There will be a full-time service tech, and then obviously the businesses that Northwest Indiana will open will employ, I would imagine, at minimum a dozen plus of healthcare and service provider type.
I have another question. You mentioned solar. I see future solar field.
Yeah.
But I also understand you to say you're putting solar panels on top of the building.
This plan is slightly old. The goal was to get everything on the building top, but to get to the net zero, you need more solar than the top of the building can accommodate. So what we're hoping to do with the state, because initially we had planned on having a phase 2 that we had already applied for, get approved, and almost build these together. That phase 2 did not get approved. We're going to try and bring it back. So right now we're asking the state to say, let us just do half of our solar for now, so that we can make what shows as a future solar field or future building that we'll then build the rest of the solar on later. So whether this becomes a solar on the ground or that just becomes a pad that would hold a future building that, by the way, would use this same variant, so that's why we want it across the entire site, is still to be determined.
Any further questions from commissioners?
No, well, yes, I have one last one. You said maybe the spring. We're into that now.
No, so it'd either be fall of 19 or spring of 20.
Okay.
And it would just depend on when we were ready to close. If we're staring down the middle of winter, we might just wait till the spring of 20.
Pastor Jones, any further?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Then we'll open up the public portion. Anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1906? Anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1906? Once again, anyone here to speak in favor of BZA 1906? Seeing none, hearing none, the same. Anyone opposed to BZA 1906? Anyone here opposed to BZA 1906? Finally, anyone here opposed to BZA 1906? Seeing none, hearing none, we will go to staff recommendation. Ms. Khabib.
20 certified mailers were sent out to surrounding property owners, 2 were returned as undeliverable, and 18 did not respond. So I think that this is a wonderful project, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Kobedes. Having heard staff's recommendation, can I get a motion for approval of BZA 1906?
So moved.
Second.
We move to property second that we approve BZA 1906. If there's no further discussion, Ms. Kobedes, can I get a roll call?
Kevin Brown?
Yes.
Chester Jones?
Yes.
Bill Cook?
Yes.
3-0.
3-0, BZA 1906 has been approved. MVH Partners, I wish you success in your project. Do they have to go before the city council?
They will. I will be in touch.
All right,
Thanks for
thank
your
you.
consideration.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Is there anything, Ms. Kobedes, before us? If not, I'll call for motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Let's go, Venus. You want to?
You can keep it if you want. Doesn't matter to me.
You don't
She's
give
just
that- you
gonna
don't give that
spread
to
it.
the, you don't give that to the council.